Welcome everyone to another tutorial. I'm going to start project 3. I'm going to do it up until the part where you have to extract. I believe I sent out an email telling you that you're unable to do that because of the licensing, where you would have to have your own license copy in your name with an Adobe account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do everything online for you as a tutorial, which you'll be able to do yourself. Then I've already done the Photoshop extract. I will send you that file through Canvas. You'll be able to upload it. You'll need to submit the original file for me that you just did with the inputting of the images, and it's just a very simple procedure. And then you'll be able to continue working on that. There's actually an introduction to CSS where you're actually going to do some styling based upon the things that are in the book and from the images themselves. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create another project. Now remember, you're going to have a WIP project site where you're going to upload all of your projects and all of your files to the FTP site. The individual projects, you will set up a site for each one. You'll get a message saying that it's inside of a specific site. That's okay. So we're going to go to site and we're going to do a new site. It wants us to do photography. As you can see, I'm a terrible speller. By the way, if you hear noise in the background, it's Sunday afternoon and I have the Patriots game on. And while I'm not necessarily a Patriots fan, the Dolphins obviously are not on. And if they were, it might be a little bit challenging to do this at the same time, especially if they were playing anyway the way he played last Thursday night. Sorry for those super huge Patriot fans and super huge Dolphin fans. Anyway, we're inside the Crow, and if you're going to ask me why they name it photography when it says Crow, I don't know. You'll have to call against the clock and ask them. I'm sure they have a wonderful reason, which I don't know, but we'll just do it this way. So we now have that in here, and I'm going to do the select the images folder here as a default images folder, which they've actually created. Notice we have cloaking over here. I'm going to turn on cloaking, and it's got the PSD file that's actually there. Notice you take a look at the slash here now. So we're good. That's in the other one. I will change sites shortly. As soon as I click on save, you'll see it. So we have it over here inside our images folder. There are some images that are already there. So the first thing it wants us to do is open up index. And we have this ugly gray thing, and that's just the layout of where we're going to do things. So on number 5, it wants you to review the page contents. I don't know really what to review. It wants us in live, so consider it reviewed. So it tells us we want to place an image in regular design view. Please don't ask me what the difference between design view and regular design view. Design view is design view, but I think they mean not live view. So we'll go and click on this, and we'll click on design / regular design. Doesn't look a lot different, but structurally it does things differently, especially when you try to input an image. So we're going to go into split view, and again, you can change the view, the split view, to have it on the right, on the bottom, or the top. I just like it on the left. So we're going to, in number 3 says, select the words insert image here in the left rectangle of the third row of the element. Remember, I'm really big on selecting it through code view, but we're not going to do it. We're going to select it here. And you can see it's selected. It's within a tag, so that's okay. Number 4 tells us to delete the selected text from the design view. So I want everybody to take a look at insert logo here in the header, and when I hit the delete and click, boom. Okay, so what it told us to do did not work. So let's go back and do it again. And let's click it. Let's delete it from here because it may have got deleted in code view. And it did not do what it's supposed to do. I do not understand why. But basically, when you delete the placeholder text or non-breaking, it replaces it with a non-breaking space. When it did this yesterday, it did. But in any case, it's not going to matter one way or the other in there. So I'm going to skip that for right now, but I will actually input it. And looking to see what I did wrong. And the answer is very simple. I guess if I read properly, I would see that I'm supposed to do this over here, insert image here. So that's why, because it's inside a P tag. And perfect example of if you do not do it properly, you may get the wrong results. Welcome to Dreamweaver. All right, so let's delete this now, see what happens. And there we go. We got our non-breaking space because we actually followed the instructions properly. So you can blame the TV and the Patriots and the Los Angeles Chargers on that era. I claim no responsibility because I was distracted by Tom Brady throwing a pass. All right, so now I'm in the Files panel. I'm going to explain the Images folder. And it tells us to click on the windmill JPG in the Files panel and drag it to the empty paragraph where you deleted the text in step 1. It really should not matter whether you do it in design view or in the code view over here. So we're going to take the windmill. We're going to take it. We're going to drag it right here. And boom. Now notice it deleted the non-breaking space over there and put it between the paragraph tags. That was number 6. Number 7 is we're going to do the About Us link. And we'll put that, the alt tag, when we click on this. That is About Us link. When you do it in live view, it actually gives you an option to put the alt tag in right away. You'll see that in the next exercise. So now the good news is the next video I make, I will not be watching a football game. And if you're watching this video, it wouldn't shock me if you're watching it as well. So things will get a little bit more smoothly. So right now I'm on number 8, and it gives us some information about the image, the P tag, the source, the width, the height, and the alt. We talked about that a little bit before, but image is the start of an image. The source is where is the image. The width and the height will get filled in for you automatically. And the alt right now is blank, but as soon as I click out, it's going to get filled in. So if something happens and you don't see any change, click somewhere else, and that usually will take care of it. Now we need to save the file. Okay, we're moving on. We're going to place the image with the insert panel. I'm really not a big fan of the insert panel. I like the insert up here, but me being a good person, I follow the instructions that the book tells us, which hopefully you as well. However, when you're doing things on your own, especially when you're a new project, the most important thing is for you, besides understanding how to do something, do it the way you feel the most comfortable. So that's not a problem. So we're going to go into the design button document in the code view, and we're going to switch to live view. Now it doesn't say regular live view, so I guess there's just one live view. And we have to select the insert image here paragraph in the middle. Now remember, when you're doing something in design view, it's different than when you're doing it in live view. So for us to get to image here, we have to click one time, which really doesn't give us access. Then we have to double click, and then we have to select. Now you see why I don't do things in live view. However, it does give you options that are not available in design view. So I just now selected the text over there, and you're going to get an option that's going to let you choose before and after and so on and so forth, which you'll see very shortly. So we took care of this. We took care of 4. Now we're going to delete. That's number 5. And it tells us to click away from the active development. So we'll do that, and boom. Notice it put in the non-baking space as soon as I put on. So now we're going to select the P element, and even though it's selected, I'm just going to click on it here just to make sure. Then we're going to click on the image button in the insert panel. So I have my insert panel here, and I'll click on the insert. Technically, I'm clicking on the word image. It tells us to click on a button, so I want to do what it tells me to do, so I'm going to click on the button. And there's our before, after, wrap, and nest. Now, we're really going to want to nest it, so we want to put it in between the 2 tags. Remember, the other one we wrapped around. The tags are wrapped around an element. Now we're going to nest it inside the element. So I'll click on nest, and it's going to say what document image do you want to find, so you can browse right to it. And it wants us to do the chain. Click on the chain, and boom, that took care of that. Now notice we have this little blue thing that says image, a plus sign, which is going to allow us to add a class. But we can click on this, and that's the HTML properties, which is basically the exact same thing as down here. So I'm going to click on this here, and now notice it allows us, if we wanted to change the source, it gives us the height and the width. And over here we have the alt tag. So in the alt tag, let's type in calendar link. And then we're going to hit the enter key to do it, and notice that it has it here, but it also put it here. Basically 2 ways of doing the exact same thing. And once we hit the escape key, we're out, and again save the file. So now we have 2 images. Now we're going to drag and drop an image from the insert panel, which is basically going to do the same thing as clicking on the insert. So we need to insert image in the right triangle. So since we're in live view, we're going to click, then we're going to double click, then we're going to drag. And then we're going to delete. And then we're going to click over here, and we're going to insert the image from the files panel. Okay, so delete the words, click away from the empty thing, click on an image button in the HTML, and drag to the empty paragraph. So we'll do that. Sorry, I was watching the game where the Chargers scored a touchdown. However, they had offensive pass interference. So the pause is there. Blame it to the game. All right. So now we're actually back. And then we just need to insert the other image, which is the wheel. And then again, we're good to go. So now we put in 3 images over there, and we're going to put in Gallery Link as the alternate. All right, that takes care of that. I'm going to save again. And now the assets panel, I don't remember if we actually went over the assets panel. The assets panel is very helpful for you, especially with images and other things that are inside of your site. So I've got your assets right here. Just click on it and notice it's got images, it's got colors, it's got URLs and media. For right now, we're just going to worry about the images. So what it wants us to do, we're still in live view. We're going to go up top here. I'm going to go into live and get rid of that. Going to select this here. And when I delete it, it's going to get real small. Oh, well. And then we'll go back into the assets. And we're going, here's the Crow photography. All I'm going to do is drag it. And at first you don't succeed, try. Yes, I know it's bigger, and we're going to actually make it smaller. We're going to do that in the next step over here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click on Insert, and then we're going to click on Nest, and then we're going to refresh. Pretty good doing this and watching a football game at the same time. So, hey, many years of doing this. So, okay, so we did the Windows asset, we did the recess, we put the Crow Pout in there, we did the empty header, we did the nest, and now we're going to resize. And for the alt text, we're going to put in, let's put it in here. So we'll click on this. Here's the alt text, and let's put in Crow photography. And that takes care of that. So we're going to resize and resample an image. I need to explain something to you. When you resize an image, most of the time, depending upon how you do it, we actually have 2 images in here. So now you're going to see a advantage of doing things in CoView. But let me get back to that. As you resize an image, Dreamweaver basically is just telling the browser, this is the image, but show it at this size. It doesn't actually resize it unless you do something called commit to it. So we're going to talk about that. Now, I noticed that we have the photography in there twice. So let's go into the header and let's get rid of one. Very easy to do. So I'm just going to click on the image here to select it, and I'll delete it. And I'll delete this here as well. So now I hope you're getting a clue as to why it's good to understand CodeView. I tell you that sometimes I make mistakes on purpose. I will be honest, especially since it's Sunday, that was not one. There are a lot of times I will, but this was not one. So if you click on here, you'll see that the width is 950 and the height is 166. So we have to be very careful at what we're going to do. So on number 1 on page 118, we have the image in there. We're going to click on the image we've already done. In the properties panel, here is the width and the height. Notice there's a little lock, and it's a little hard to see, but it's closed. If you click on it, then it's open. You click on it again, it's closed. When it's closed, that means whatever you do to the width, the height is going to be taken in proportion. Whatever you do to height, the width. So if you have something that's, say, 200 by 200, and you make one of them 150, it will make it 150. So it will change the width or the height in proportion to whatever the other one was changed. So what we're going to do in the width field, we're going to change it to 550. If you want to know where we came up with 550, I looked at number 4, and the book said 550. There is really a good reason why, but for right now, it's just that. Now notice it still says 166 in height. As soon as I hit the enter key, it changes automatically. However, the image is not changed. So what we're going to do here, it tells us that we need to click the commit. So let's click on at the end over here where there's a reset. Clicking in here matches the file size over there. Just remember that actually changes the file size over there. So I'm on page 5, clicking the bottom right hand, shift over here, drag it up and down, make it over here to a height of 110. So what we're going to do here, we're going to click, and let's go into design view where there's handles. Code view does not give you handles. I'm holding the shift key down. If I hold the shift key down, that's the same as changing the proportion. So it's a little bit more challenging to get it exactly 110. So let's get it to 110. If I didn't get it to 110, I could just type it in there. So that takes care of that. And again, the book tells us to keep in mind that manually resizing the image using these handles does not honor the lock icon in the properties panel. If you drag either the size handle or the other handle while holding the shift, then it will do it in proportional. So we just did number 5. Okay, in the files panel, we're going to expand the folder if necessary. Well, we're not in files, so we need to now expand. We don't really need to do that in here. Then we're going to edit and duplicate the photography PNG. Now, there's different ways to do it. You can right-click, choose Edit and Duplicate, which is Control-D, or you can hit Control-D just clicking on it. Again, if you don't remember Control-D, then you can use your mouse and figure out things from there. So that's making a duplicate of that file, the PNG file over here. So we've taken care of that. And at the end of the current file with the same name, we're going to make that small. So let's rename it. I like to hit F2. And let's just make this. Let's try that again. Let's hit F2. Make sure you use your arrow keys, and we'll make this small. Remember, when something's selected and you type a key, it's going to do that. Now it's going to ask us, do we want to update the files? Yes, we do. Whenever you get that, always update. And so we took care of the update with the image selected on the page. Click Commit Changes. So let's click over here. And we're committing the changes. Boom. All right. So that takes care of that over here. And we acknowledge the warning. And we're going to save the file. That took care of number 13. And that's everything for this. Then I will be uploading the extracted image files over there for you. So have a wonderful day. Go Yankees. Unfortunately, they're still not in the